Good morning. Thank you for joining me for Oh My Soul today. I'm going to be reading today from Genesis chapter 1, and I'll be reading selected verses and from the English Standard Version, the Word of the Lord, beginning with verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And then we will go to verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." And God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has breath of life, I have also given every green plant for food." And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. The word of the Lord. I left out a lot of the details of creation. There are many teachers that have gone to all the details of creation, but I want to focus on just a couple things in chapter 1. My approach towards scripture tends to be very relational, very devotional, and I want to see the Lord breathing in each passage. And so this is going to be my focus. And so first of all, I want to look at verse 2, where it says, "The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters." The word hovering has also been translated brooding, and it literally is a mother bird on her nest, brooding over her eggs, and rolling those eggs, and rotating them, incubating. And so this is a wonderful image of the Spirit of God uh, brooding on the nest of the earth, incubating the earth, and bringing the earth to birth. Jesus uses the same kind of imagery when he says, like a mother hen who who covers her chicks with her wings, "How I would long to bring you to myself." And there's a very loving intimacy in this idea of the Spirit of God brooding over creation. But I want to go to what I feel is the most important part of chapter 1, and that is verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So there's been a lot of speculation on what exactly is the image of God. Throughout history, people have thought that God looked like a man with a head and two arms and two legs. Even in the Russian culture, God had a beard, so men shouldn't shave. But there have been also some thought that the image of God in man was that he gave us free will. Now, I think we all know that God is not a man, right? So we're not dealing with a physical form, and that we're talking about a spiritual image that he has. But what exactly is that? Is that free will? Well, I question that one, because we have evidence that the angels, who were not created in God's image, had some sort of free will because they rebelled. So what is it what does it mean to be made in the image of God? And I think that verse 28 gives us that idea. It says, and God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. Be fruitful and multiply. God has given us that ability to produce life, to be creators. And even as in the verse 2 where it talks about how his spirit brooded over the heavens, and he was incubating and bringing to life his creation. So he's given us the ability to be fruitful and to multiply and to have offspring. And the angels aren't capable of doing that. And I think that this idea of physical creation also extends to spiritual creation, the idea of being able to write poetry, to imagine things, in the creativity of our mind. We've heard that Satan isn't capable of creating. He only can distort and pervert what God has already created. But God's given us this ability of using our imaginations and our creativity. But the animals are able to be fruitful and multiply. In fact, they had the same command earlier, to be fruitful and multiply. So what's the difference between man and animal? Well, it says that we should have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that rules on the earth. So there is an authority that God has given to man, authority to rule. And so these two things, being creative, being able to produce offspring, being a creative imagination, coming up with design just as he created the earth and designed it, and having the authority to rule over creation. I believe these are two key elements of the image of God in us. And I believe these are two key elements of God's image that are under attack in our culture. First of all, the creativity in producing children. There is such a denigration of giving birth to children, and we are slaughtering thousands of babies in the womb. And this is an attack on the image of God. And secondly, when man is put on the same level as the beast, when man no longer has authority over the animals, but the beasts have authority, or the beasts are even held up as more important than man, then we have a flip-flop on what it means to be made in the image of God. Now, God has given us stewardship of this earth, and that doesn't mean we should abuse that. He's given us authority in his image. We rule the way he wants us to rule. What we have seen is a distorted image of God, where people have been abusive, have not been good stewards, who have polluted the earth, who have slaughtered the animals for no good purpose. Okay, this is a distorted image of God. But God has made us in his image to be sub-creators, and also to have authority and to rule and reign. And so that's my take on what the image of God is. And then just a little aside, it says in verse 29, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with its seed in its fruit, and you shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have also given every green plant for food. And it was so. Guess what, folks? In the beginning, we were vegetarians. Now we know later God gave permission for us to eat the beasts. But in the beginning, it was a peaceable kingdom. We were not destroying the animals. We were not killing them for food. That came when we needed blood atonement for our sin. So vegetarian is good. I am an omnivore, but I am becoming much more eating much more vegetables in these days later, and a lot less meat, and that's okay, and that's biblical. So don't give people a bad time if they're vegetarians. Okay, and then at the very end, God saw everything he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. So I'm going to end with a song by Fernando Ortega. It's called the Creation Song, and then I'll let you go for the day. He wraps himself in light as with a garment. He spreads out the heavens and walks on the wings of the wind. He sends forth the springs from the valleys, they flow between mountains. The birds of the air dwell by the waters, lifting their voices in song, singing glory, glory, glory to the Lamb. All praises and honor forever. He made the moon for its season, the sun knows its setting. He looks at the earth and it trembles. He touches the mountains and they smoke. I will sing to the Lord all my life. I will sing praises to my God as long as I live. Praises to the Lord, all my soul, singing glory, glory, glory to the Lamb. All praises and honor forever. Remember, you are made in God's image. He has made you to be creative and fruitful and to multiply. And He has given you authority. So exercise this creativity and this authority He's given you in a godly manner. Be a good steward of these things He's given you. And eat a little more vegetables. Have a great day. Bye.
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul.